Yeah, I think, like I said in my statement, it's an exciting time for us. It obviously puts the games on the calendar, and we're able to start planning. I'm really excited about the format where everybody's going to play everybody in the league this year. I think it's good because the fans are going to be able to see some new teams. We're going to be able to go and travel to some different places that our players might not have been to before. All in all, there's some things to navigate throughout the schedule. I think, the start of the season certainly being three out of the first four on the West Coast is something we'll have to navigate. But we did it last year, and I thought we did it really well last year. And then, towards the end of the season in September, I think we're away quite a bit, five out of the 6 games, and these are, everybody's got to deal with it. So for us, it's an exciting time. We're certainly itching to get back. Our players are training almost every day already. Can't keep them away from this place. So it's an exciting time, and we're looking forward to getting started.
Danny, 22 players coming back from a team that went to the finals. How confident are you going in? And I think that's a USL record, right?
Yeah, I think it shows how we try to plan here at this club first and foremost. I think it's a commitment that we try to make to the players, and obviously the players to us. It certainly makes preseason a little bit different this year in that, last year we had a lot of players incoming for the first time. So we're able to, focus more on the tactical side of it and what we want to get out of training every day, So we're going to play a lot of games, and I think when you're able to return that many players from a group that we felt was special already, then you put yourself in a good position to have success.
You just kind of touched on it there. Does that make your job a little easier when you've got guys who know the kind of the game plan now and how you organize things?
I think certainly when you have that many players returning that understand the culture that's expected, the type of person they're expected to be when they're within these walls, and obviously in the community as well. And then obviously how we want to play. We have a group that knows how we want to play. We have a group that's shown they can do special things and win a lot of games. And I think the biggest thing is integrating the few players that we are bringing into the group that we feel improve, makes us better, and continuing to focus on areas that we feel we needed to be better last year. We didn't win the whole thing. That's the goal here. And so our players are certainly going to have that in the back of their heads come day one.
You mentioned, obviously you guys didn't win the whole thing. Schedule comes out. I know you guys take it game by game, et cetera, et cetera. But that San Antonio game, just how exciting is it that they're going to be here and you have a chance to get some revenge on them?
Yeah, certainly, we're excited about the opportunity for the game to be here first and foremost. I think what's really important, and we speak about this throughout the season, we did all year last year, is the understanding that every point matters, right? It's the difference between having to travel on the road in the final and host a final, right? So I've made it really clear that this is a difficult place to play, right? It's a difficult place for teams to come and get good results because of our fans, because the quality of our players. At the same time, the schedule comes out and you start looking at making sure that players understand every game, every point matters, especially as you start talking about trying to put yourself in a position to host playoff games.
The new players that are coming, just talk about the success that you guys have had as a club. Is it easy for these players to, you probably hear it all the time when you're trying to get new players to come in, they want to play here. Do you notice that year after year?
Absolutely. I think, when players that have maybe never been here before but, see the team and the stadium and the facilities here, this is the place that people want to be, in my opinion, right? And so when you meet with Dylan Mayers, when you meet with Rasmus, they're blown away, right? And so I was here the other day when Dylan got to walk through here for the first time, right? And, I think they understand why this place is so special, right? And they also understand the expectation that comes with being at this club. So we try to make sure that, we put these players in the best position that they can to be successful. And when you're going out and you're trying to find the right people to add to a group that you already feel has a lot of quality, you make sure you do that due diligence. And, I think with everything that we have here at this club and the way that our ownership group and treats the players and us as staff, it's for me, I don't want to use the word easy, but this is a place that players want to be.
I know you're looking ahead, to the upcoming schedule, but have you taken some time to reflect on everything that happened last year in that run that you guys made, and actually the in-season run where you just kept winning games and winning games and had
Yeah.
those undefeated streaks there.
Yeah, I think once the final ended, you go through all your meetings, but that's when a big piece of the reflection comes when you look at it holistically from the whole season. There were certainly a lot of things to be proud of. A lot as a manager of this group to see what they did and how they came together. I was really proud of that. At the same time, it's recognizing that you fell short of your ultimate goal. How can we make sure we put ourselves in a position to continue to be successful? And then we will, throughout this season as well, continue to reflect as the season goes on, because there's areas we know we still could be better. Despite the shutouts and the goals we scored and the wins that we had, there's still always an area to improve. And these players every day that we sit here in this room are the most critical on each other. In a good way. I think that's what continues to push us to want to be the best we can be. So certainly reflected there at the end of the season. But I think it's really important that we're still hard on ourselves on where we can be better. And that's ultimately what I want from myself, my staff, and obviously the players.
What is maybe one of those big areas that you guys have focused on this offseason?
I think we want to continue to be better with the ball. I think there was still some of the time that we got goals scored against us, it was because we were poor with the ball. And so making sure that we're continuing to work through the ideas and the movements with the guys here early in preseason. And then, expanding a little bit more on the 3-5-2, right? There were moments that we obviously utilized it this year, sometimes due to injury, sometimes because we felt it what gave us the best chance to win. When you look at RGV on the road, that was a big one. But we can still be better and spend a little bit more time on that, right? And then when you look at our 4-3-3, in that shape, I think actually I would say the entire locker room, they know it like the back of their heads. And so it's being able to do that in both systems, when the time is right and the game calls for it. So I'd say the biggest thing though would be with the ball.
I want to ask about Dylan, U of L guy. I mean, how cool is it to have another guy like that? Obviously, Paolo, and is it cool for them when they come here?
It's amazing. I mean, he has family here as well, which is really important when you talk about integrating yourself into a new city with a new team. It's never easy to move, certainly not with a family and kids, right? So, we're excited to have him. He's a talented player, can play in the middle of the field for us at the 8, the 10 position. He's a guy that has had a lot of success in his career. When you look at last year, I think it was the most goals he scored in his career in one season. I think he gives us another dynamic in the middle of the field and adds to a already quality group of central midfielders that we have.
Go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit about the signing of Rasmus Elfsson? I thought that was kind of an interesting one. What did you first off, how did that connection happen? How did he get on your radar? And two, what do you really think that he brings to the squad?
Yeah, I think players are sent to us all the time, and this was a player that we identified, went through our data analysis like we always do, went through the video, went through an interview process with him. It's pretty lengthy, and when we went through all of those phases and we looked at where we felt we could bring in quality, we thought that Rasmus has the ability to play out wide on the left, out wide on the right, centrally when needed. He's a player that brings good size, good quality on the ball. His technical ability is fantastic. His ability to serve the ball is really good. But I think most importantly, what stood out to us in the data and in the video was his reaction when the ball turns over. So you try to look at when you go through all these phases, you try to look at, okay, is this player going to be a good fit? And one of the biggest things for us is, does he have the right mentality, right? And so I think when you look at how a player reacts when the ball turns over, if his teammate turns it over, are his arms going in the air, or is he doing everything he can to get the ball back? So we feel he's going to fit in nicely. He obviously is moving quite a ways, so it's going to take him a little bit of time, but we're excited to get him here.
Josh Wander hasn't played a game since November, but it seems like he's had a really big offseason. Just can you speak to some of the publicity that he's received between the U.S. Soccer, the Young Player of the Year award nomination, the transfer market numbers that you see, just where you think he's positioned himself for this year?
Yeah, I think, listen, he's put himself in a position to hopefully, have another big year, right? We were really impressed with how he handled himself last year through the ups and the downs. I think he's grown a tremendous amount in his time since we've been together. When you look at a lot of those accolades that are happening, I think for him to be nominated for Young Player of the Year says a lot about him and the things that he has done when with the national team, captaining the 19s as a 17-year-old. He's continuing to grow right before us, and I think when you look at everything that he put into last year and how he performed week in and week out, I've said it before, but I think the sky's the limit, and my hope is that he comes into preseason as fit and as sharp as he was last year, and takes those experiences to continue to grow. But I certainly believe this is going to be a special year for him.
Any more signings on the horizon? Doesn't feel like you have as many holes to plug this year as last year.
Yeah, definitely one, maybe two. But as we always say, if we feel there's someone that's going to improve the group, whether that be it doesn't matter where they're from, then we're going to look at that. Obviously, we need a goalkeeper. That's going to hopefully come to fruition here in the near future. And then we're looking at maybe one more piece.
And those would come before the season starts, you think?
Before the season
Yeah,
starts? Yeah, I would say those will definitely be here
Okay.
before the season starts, at least the goalkeeper.
Okay.
Can you talk about preseason friendlies? I know two MLS clubs have released theirs, including Louisville City's name. I imagine you guys will have more than 2 matches. And
Yeah, there are some teams that have announced them already. We'll be going to Nashville coming up on the 30th after the first week of preseason. We'll be traveling quite a bit. We'll play some USL teams, a few more MLS teams as well, and I think that'll be announced here in the near future. But good, a good slate of games that I feel is going to test us in a really good way and get us prepared for the regular season.
And is the thought to leave town and play those games similar to last year of wanting to be good when you're not at Lynn Family Stadium?
Yeah, so very similar. We're probably going to have we're going to have one game here at home at the training ground, most likely pending weather, throughout the entire preseason, and the rest of preseason is going to be for the most part on the road. Again, when I look at how we have to start the year with 3 games in the West, I think it's important that we get the guys out there to experience that a little bit, and then you'll see as the preseason schedule is released, there's an idea behind it to make sure that we're continuing to test these guys on the road.